You've been wrong about your entire fucking life. Let that sink in. Not just wrong about your career. Not just about your relationships. You've been wrong about you. About who you are. About what matters. About what the hell you're even doing here. Every decision you've made so far, built on a shaky-ass foundation of assumptions. Assumptions that you never tested. Assumptions you adopted because someone told you they were normal, and you clung to them. You called them truth because it felt safer than saying, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And now you're here, anxious, overthinking, lost in a maze of fake clarity, posting motivational quotes you don't believe, chasing goals you don't even want, stuck in routines that quietly eat you alive. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Your life isn't stuck because you're unlucky. It's stuck because you've been defending lies. Lies like, I have time. You don't. Lies like, I'm doing my best. You're not. Lies like, if I just stay patient, things will change. They won't, unless you do something that hurts. But here's the twist. This isn't just about being wrong. It's about being afraid to be wrong. You've built your entire sense of self on the illusion of certainty. The moment something threatens that, you crumble. You'd rather stay miserable than admit, maybe I fucked up. Because deep down, you know what's waiting on the other side of that confession. Change. And change is brutal. Change doesn't stroke your ego. It rips it apart. It's easier to pretend you're confused than to admit you've been bullshitting yourself for years. You say you want truth. You don't. You want comfort wrapped in logic. You want answers that validate the shit you already believe. You want to stay in your little box of familiar failure, because at least there, you know what to expect. That's why you still hate your job but haven't quit. That's why you keep texting that person you said you're over. That's why you keep distracting yourself with content like this instead of facing the void head-on. You are addicted to being right, even if right is making you miserable. But here's the real mindfuck. Being wrong is the only way forward. You don't grow by being perfect. You grow by being honest. Brutally, embarrassingly honest. I thought she'd never leave me. She did. I thought this job would make me feel worthy. It didn't. I thought I was special. You're not. You're just someone who has potential. Same as everyone else. And that's fucking good news. Because once you accept that you're wrong, you're free. Free to stop performing. Free to stop defending your past. Free to rip apart every lie you've clung to and build something real. You want self-worth? Burn your fake certainty. You want peace of mind? Let go of the need to be right. You want growth? Then fuck your ego and start telling the truth. The truth is, you thought you had to chase happiness. But you never asked if what you were chasing was even yours. You thought love would save you. But you never learned how to sit with yourself when no one shows up. You thought your identity was a fixed formula. But it was just a collage of coping mechanisms. You are wrong. About everything. And that is the beginning of everything better. You want to know why people stay stuck for decades? Because they confuse familiar with truth. They would rather live in a predictable hell than risk being wrong and stepping into an unknown heaven. But growth doesn't feel like winning. It feels like dying. The old version of you, the insecure one, the one obsessed with control, the one who needed validation like oxygen, has to fucking die. That's what evolution feels like. Grief, confusion, collapse. But on the other side, clarity that burns, confidence that doesn't need applause, and peace that isn't performative, it's earned. You won't get that by reading another book or watching another video. You'll get it by doing the hard shit, admitting you've been wrong and doing something about it. And that doesn't make you weak. That makes you dangerous. Because a person who's not afraid to be wrong is a person no one can manipulate. You stop needing praise. You stop fearing rejection. You stop living your life like a fucking audition. So ask yourself right now, what belief are you defending just because it's comfortable? What part of you needs to be shattered so something real can be rebuilt? Where are you being so damn certain that you've actually stopped living? And don't answer with a quote. Don't answer with what sounds good. Sit in it. Let it burn. That's the only way you change. You don't need another plan. You need to look in the mirror and say, I've been wrong. Say it. Out loud. Because that sentence, that's where your next life begins. Here's what no one fucking tells you. Your beliefs aren't sacred. They're guesses, drafts, shaky theories glued together by emotion, trauma, and survival. You didn't choose most of them. They were inherited, absorbed, or forced onto you before you even knew what a real choice felt like. And now you're out here trying to build a life. Hell, a self, on top of that mess? No wonder it feels like nothing sticks. You've been trying to design a future without checking if your tools are even real. That's why you start things but never finish. That's why your motivation disappears. That's why you're busy as hell but still feel empty as fuck. Because it's not just what you're doing. It's what you believe about who you are while you're doing it. You think the fear is about failure. It's not. It's about exposure. Because what happens if you try, and the result proves you're not who you thought you were? What happens if you write that book and nobody reads it? What happens if you say what you really feel and people walk away? What happens if you go all in and it's still not enough? That's the real war you're fighting. Not against failure, but against the death of your old identity. So you protect it. You armor up with distractions. You stay in your bubble of half-truths and maybes. You call it being busy, overwhelmed, figuring things out. But all you're really doing is delaying the inevitable collapse of a life that was never built on you, only on who you thought you needed to be. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The version of you you're defending is already dead. You're just carrying the corpse. That fake confidence, that nice resume, that curated personality built to please the algorithm of society, dead, gone, irrelevant. And until you fucking bury it, your real life can't begin. You've been living by untested assumptions. I'm not good enough. I need to prove myself. If I'm not perfect, I'll be abandoned. These aren't facts, they're scars. And you keep scratching them open like they hold some kind of wisdom. They don't. Scars are stories. But you've mistaken them for maps. It's time to stop following old pain like it knows the way forward. If you really want to evolve, you need to test every assumption you've got, every truth you repeat, every identity you hide behind. Smash that shit with real-world friction, with action, with data. You think you're a good communicator? Try having a hard conversation and see what happens. You think you're disciplined? Track your habits for 30 days. See where your time actually goes. You think you love someone? Stay when it's boring. Stay when it's hard. Show up when it's not convenient. Because truth doesn't show up in theory. It shows up in the dirty, chaotic, uncomfortable practice of living. That's how you build a mindset that scares people. Not by being right, by being wrong. Again, and again, and again, and learning so fucking fast that the world can't keep up. You become undeniable not by knowing more, but by being willing to unlearn faster than anyone else. That's the real flex. That's the real freedom. Because when you no longer need to be right, you become unshakable. People can criticize you, and you don't flinch. Plans fall apart, and you adapt. Shit gets messy, and you walk straight into it with open eyes. You don't chase certainty. You create clarity, one broken belief at a time. So start breaking. Break your need to be liked. Break your obsession with potential. Break your identity as the smart one, the reliable one, the overthinker, the quiet one, the one who never asks for help. Because none of those are you. They're armor you picked up to survive a life you didn't choose. But you're not surviving anymore, are you? Now you want to live. That means shedding skin. That means confronting truths you buried a decade ago. That means looking your own delusions in the face and saying, I see you. I believed you. But you're not me anymore. That kind of honesty, that kind of inner violence, that's how you grow 10 years in 10 months. That's how you stop tolerating friendships that drain you. That's how you quit working jobs that shrink your spirit. That's how you walk away from the illusion of who you thought you should be and step into who you already fucking are underneath the noise. And no, it won't be easy. Your ego will scream. Your past will claw at you. The people who benefited from your fake identity will beg you to stay small. Let them. Because you didn't come this far to build a castle out of old fears. You came to burn that shit down and build something real, brick by brutal brick. So here's your move. Every time you catch yourself being certain, pause. Question it. Break it. I could never do that. Who told you that? I'm not built for that kind of life. Really? Or is that just a recycled belief that no longer fits? I need them to approve of me. Why? What happens if they don't? Ask. Dig. Test. Bleed. And when you find out you were wrong, good. That's your green light. So now what? You've ripped open the box. You've stared your fake identity in the face. You've seen that the emperor has no fucking clothes. That the you've been selling to the world is just a collage of borrowed opinions, untested fears, and old defense mechanisms dressed up as personality. Now comes the question that makes or breaks your future. What the fuck are you going to do with it? Because here's the thing. Truth doesn't give a shit if you're inspired. It doesn't care if you watch this video and felt something deep. Truth only cares what you do next. That's it. This is the moment you either change, or you crawl back into your comfort zone and start the cycle all over again. You scroll. You numb. You lie to yourself, again. You tell yourself, maybe next month. But deep down, you know damn well that's just another round of self-betrayal dressed up as patience. And that betrayal? It rots you from the inside. You know what's worse than being wrong? Knowing you're wrong and doing nothing. Knowing you've outgrown your environment, but staying. Knowing your relationship is dead, but clinging. Knowing your dreams are choking, but you're too fucking scared to let them breathe. That's not safety. That's slow suicide. And I don't care what your story is. I don't care if you're 19 or 39. I don't care if you failed 10 times or been paralyzed by fear for 10 years. I care if you're ready to finally take the knife out of your back, your own fucking knife, and say, enough. Because until you do, life will keep punishing you in the exact places you refuse to grow. Stuck in a loop? That's life saying, fix this or stay here forever. Sick of yourself? That's your future screaming through the static. You've already wasted too many years giving a fuck about things that don't fucking matter. Status. Approval. Being liked by people who wouldn't notice if you disappeared tomorrow. Fuck that. This life is yours. And if you don't build it, no one will. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to sit you down and say, hey, now's the time. You want change? You've got to fucking initiate it. Rip it out of your life with both hands. Drag it into existence. And yes, it's going to hurt like hell. But that pain, that's the price of alignment. That's the price of living a life that actually fits your soul. You don't need more certainty. You need more courage. The courage to be seen starting over. The courage to look like a fool for a season while you become something real. The courage to walk away from everything that made sense, but no longer serves you. Because you will lose things. You will lose people. You will lose comfort, safety, predictability. But every time you lose something false, you make room for something true. And when you stop needing to be right all the time, you start discovering who you actually are underneath the noise. Here's the real goal. Build a mind so flexible, so fucking honest, that it can survive any storm. Because storms are coming. Setbacks, heartbreaks, failures, doubts. You don't need protection from the world. You need a self that doesn't collapse when the illusion does. You want peace? Then make peace with being wrong. You want power? Then stop outsourcing your worth to people who don't even know themselves. You want meaning? Then go create it in the debris of your own uncertainty. Because the people who build legendary lives, who make impact, who feel alive, who wake up without dread every morning, aren't the ones who got it right on the first try. They're the ones who were wrong, again and again and again, but never stopped evolving. That's the path. It's not sexy. It's not safe. But it's real. And it's waiting for you. So here's what you do right now. 1. Pick one thing you've been certain about. Anything. Your job, your relationship, your ability, your identity. 2. Assume you're wrong about it. Fully. No, but maybe. No excuses. Just, I'm probably wrong here. 3. Test it. Push against it. Take action that contradicts it. Not in theory. In your real fucking life. 4. See what happens. Watch what breaks. Watch what reveals itself. Let the discomfort be your compass. And when you find out you were wrong, smile. Because that's not weakness. That's a fucking breakthrough. That's you waking up. That's you, for the first time in your life, not pretending anymore. So stop trying to be right. Be brave. That's how you win. That's how you escape the loop. That's how you stop overthinking your life and start fucking owning it. The truth isn't out there. It's in your mistakes, your contradictions, your failures, your ability to say, I don't know, but I'm fucking willing to find out. That's your power now. Don't waste it.